Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I want to take care of a few housekeeping items first before we dive in. So just so everyone knows, we will be sending out a recording and the slides after the webinar. So if you have to log off early, no worries. You will be getting all the materials from this webinar afterwards. So don't worry about that. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them into the question portion. We will be reserving some time at the end of the webinar to answer any questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to introduce myself. My name is Natalie Slyman. I'm the Content Marketing Manager at Benchmark Email. And Irene Martinez, she's our training manager. She's co-hosting with me and she's going to pop on a little later. But today we are discussing how to maximize deliverability. We're going to offer a tactical list management guide for Google and Yahoo's email policy updates. So let's dive in. Slide. Okay, so today what we're going to be covering is, how to understand these new email policies, a deep dive into list management, how to adapt to these policy changes, and integrating policy changes with list management. Okay, so understanding the new email policies, an overview of Google and Yahoo's email policy updates. So this is a quick overview of what these policy updates will look like. They include authenticating your sending domain using SPF and DKIM authentication, allowing for simple unsubscription, and maintaining a rate of spam reports in Google Postmaster Tools below 0.1%. So let's discuss the reason behind these changes. Beginning on the 1st of February 2024, so coming up, Google and Yahoo will require all email senders, both large and small, to comply with these requirements. I'm just going to list them again. Authenticating your sending domain using SPF and DKIM authentication, allowing for simple unsubscription, maintaining a spam reports in Google Postmaster Tools below 0.1%. So SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework, and DKIM stands for Domain Keys Identified Mail. Both are key email authentication methods used to combat spam and phishing by verifying the sender's identity and ensuring the integrity of the email content. These policies are being put in place to improve mailbox protection against spam, phishing, and spoofing. So, what is this impact? What is the impact for email marketers? So how will these updates affect email deliverability? So there will be stricter email authentication. If your emails fail to properly authenticate using standards, including SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, there's a higher chance they'll be marked as spam or rejected entirely. These policies make it essential for senders to correctly set up and maintain these authentication protocols. There will be enhanced filtering algorithms. Both Google and Yahoo continuously update their filtering algorithms to better identify spam or malicious emails. If your emails resemble spam in content, sending patterns, or lack of engagement, they may be filtered out, reducing deliverability. There will also be an increased focus on user engagement as a key metric. So these email providers are placing more emphasis on user engagement, like open rates, click-through rates, and how users interact with your emails to determine inbox placement. Emails that consistently engage users are more likely to be delivered. And there will be penalties for non-compliance. Failing to comply with the updated policies can result in emails being blocked or sent to the spam folder, directly affecting deliverability. This makes it important for businesses to stay informed and adapt their email strategies accordingly. Okay, so some serious stuff. We'll get into, more about how marketers can adapt to those changes soon. But first, I want to discuss list management, as this also plays a very big role in email deliverability. Okay, so the importance of a clean and segmented email list. This is crucial for effective email list maintenance for several reasons. It improves deliverability. A clean email list free from invalid or outdated addresses reduces bounce rates. High bounce rates can damage your sender reputation and lead to emails being filtered into spam. It also leads to increased engagement. So by segmenting your list, you can tailor content to different segments based on their interests, their behaviors, or their demographics. This personalization typically leads to higher engagement rates as recipients find the content more relevant and valuable. It can lead to a better sender reputation. So email service providers track how recipients interact with your emails. A clean and engaged list ensures more opens and clicks and fewer spam reports. So these positive interactions enhance your sender reputation and improves your overall deliverability. And then it just ensures efficient resource use. Sending emails to a clean and segmented list ensures that you're not wasting resources on unengaged or non-existent recipients. This efficiency can lead to cost savings and better use of your marketing efforts. And that is not all. There's a lot more benefits to this. So you're going to get some accurate metrics and analysis. So with that clean segmented list, you're going to really see how your emails are actually performing. This clarity is crucial for assessing the effectiveness of your email campaigns and making informed decisions. So if you really know how your emails are performing, you're able to determine what's working and what isn't. It's also compliance with regulations. So laws such as the GDPR and CAN-SPAM require businesses to obtain consent from their recipients and allow them to opt out of communication. So a clean list ensures compliance with these regulations and reduces the risk of legal penalties. This can also lead to reduced spam complaints. So by targeting only those who are interested and have opted in, you minimize the risk of recipients marking your emails as spam, which can seriously harm your sender reputation. And then it just, enhances the customer experience. When, people receive personalized emails, they're going to be more likely to feel valued and understood. This is going to just, strengthen their loyalty and connection to your brand because you're sending them content they actually want to receive. Okay. So let's kind of dive into like the principles behind an effective, the principles behind effective list management. So in order to practice this, you have to do the following. You have to regularly clean and update your list. So periodically remove inactive, invalid, or bounced email addresses. By regularly updating your email list, it keeps it clean, it reduces bounce rates, and it improves deliverability. Practice segmentation. I know we already mentioned this, but we're going to say it again, and we're probably going to say it one more time before at least one more time before this webinar is over. Make sure you're dividing your email list into smaller segments based on criteria like demographics, purchase history, engagement level, or interests. Again, this just allows for more targeted, relevant messaging. And again, consent and compliance. Just ensure that all your subscribers have explicitly opted in to receive your emails. Comply with regulations like GDPR, CAN-SPAM, and others relevant to your audience's location to avoid legal issues and maintain trust. So in order to obtain this consent, you're going to want to use email forms that have an opt-in option. And we'll kind of discuss this a little bit later. And then, engagement tracking, you want to make sure you're doing that. You want to monitor how subscribers interact with your emails. So yes, check things like open rate, click-through rate, unsubscribe rates, things like that, so that you can kind of gain an understanding of what content is resonating with your audience and what, you need to do to refine your strategy. And then obviously practice personalization. So use the information that you have about your subscribers to personalize the emails you're sending to them. This can include, using the recipient's name or referencing their previous interactions. It's stuff like that that makes your subscribers feel like you know them and that, you're sending something that is just specific to what they need. And then there's more, obviously. So let's discuss, preference management. So this just means, giving your subscribers control over their preferences. So like how often they want to receive emails and on what topics. This respects their choices and can reduce unsubscribe rates. You may be wondering how you can do this. Well, a lot of this also just ties in with your email marketing practices. So if you can send surveys or, ask them how in the sign up form, how often they want to receive emails, things like that to kind of inform your strategy. And then, focus over quality over quantity. So it's nice to have a really large list, but engaged and interested subscribers are much more valuable than a large number of disengaged ones. So just because you have a huge subscriber list doesn't mean you're just nailing email marketing if that subscriber list isn't engaged. Definitely incorporate re-engagement campaigns into your strategy. So that just means regularly reaching out to inactive subscribers with targeted re-engagement campaigns. And then, if there's no response, consider removing them from your list. You don't want to continuously email people who aren't responding or engaging because, as we stated previously, that could damage your sender reputation. And then practice A/B testing. So A/B testing is, just testing different aspects of your emails. So that's trying different subject lines, sending different kinds of content, playing around with sending times, or, testing out different CTAs or CTA language. This is just to see what works best for your audience and, helps you continuously optimize based on results. Also, consider incorporating feedback loops for analysis. So, implement feedback mechanisms to understand why subscribers may opt out and use this data to improve. How many times have you opted out of an email only to be redirected to a page that asks you why you're opting out? That's what a feedback loop is. That kind of helps the people who are sending you emails determine what was the reason these people became disengaged or wanted to opt out, and maybe that's what we should do to change our strategy in the future. Okay, so now to the good stuff. To align with Google and Yahoo's email policy updates, marketers should take specific steps that not only comply with the new regulations, but also optimize their email strategies for maximum effectiveness. So here are some key actions to consider to help you kind of adapt to these policy changes. So we're going to sound a little repetitive here, but it's all good. This is just going to help you kind of really understand what you need to be doing. Obviously ensure proper email authentication. So implement and correctly configure SPF, DKIM, and DMARC records. These authentication protocols are crucial for verifying your email's legitimacy. So just so and we're gonna kind of dive into this, and Irene's gonna explain this a little bit later, but our team is currently working on ways for our users to kind of implement this within our platform so that it makes it super easy. Obviously maintain a clean email list. So, use the tips I previously mentioned, like regularly removing inactive subscribers and invalid email addresses and hard bounces from your email list. That will just ensure your list is super clean. Enhance your email content and relevance. So, make sure you're creating engaging, high quality content that is relevant to your audience. This includes sharing, blog posts that are educational and, gated content or white papers, things that provide education and resource so that, the people receiving it will find them truly valuable. And, segment your email list. Like I mentioned, we were going to talk about this again. So, divide your email list into those more specific categories so that, it makes personalization super easy. And then, check in on your sender reputation. So keep track of your sender score, which, obviously reflects your reputation as an email sender. A good sender score improves the likelihood of your emails reaching the inbox. Okay, some more steps include, adopting a double opt-in process. So a double opt-in process for new subscribers can ensure that they genuinely want to receive your emails. This process also helps in verifying the validity of the email address. So, obviously your email sign-up forms can have, an opt-in button, but the double opt-in process can include sending them an email, just kind of verifying that they want to continue receiving emails from you. So it's just kind of like really hammering home, like you are in this for the long haul. And then, focus on user engagement. Again, just monitor those email metrics and make sure, if you notice anything dipping, you can kind of try and figure out what's going on there so that you can rectify that. Test and optimize your email campaigns. Again, use A/B testing. Don't just look at the obvious. Don't just look at subject lines or the CTAs. Again, try sender times. Try, certain days of the week. See what works for your audience so that you can really optimize on, the strategies and approaches that you're using. Really make sure, this is so important as more and more people are viewing their emails on mobile devices and, devices other than computers, your emails have to be responsive and they have to be accessible. So make sure, they're easily readable on all devices, including mobile, and pay attention to aspects like font size, button size, and overall layout. And yeah, manage feedback and unsubscribes effectively. So make sure, it's obviously very clear and easy for people to unsubscribe, but then make sure you really respect those unsubscribes and request promptly. And yeah, feedback loops are great, and they will help you figure out why people don't want to continue receiving your emails, and just make sure you respond to all those complaints. And then lastly, educate and train your team. So it's great if you know these, policies and what to be doing, but you have a team helping you most likely, or you at least have some other people that need to be aware of these changes. So just ensure everybody is involved on the importance of these updates and how to comply with them. Okay. We discussed a lot, and you might be wondering how, there's nitty grittiness to like actually, putting these practices into place. And there's, things you need to do in order to ensure you're actually on the right track. The good news is a lot of email automation platforms out there can help you, including Benchmark Email. So with Benchmark Email, you can have access to features that will help you maintain a clean and healthy email list so that your deliverability can stay strong, and so that you don't have to kind of like get in the weeds with all of this. I'm going to list a few of our capabilities and some of our features. We have obviously segmentation capabilities. So through our platform, you can segment your email list based on things like region, other interests that can help you maintain that personalized content approach. We also have a feature called Smart Content, which is honestly wonderful. A lot of people struggle with putting together email content, but with Smart Content, the struggle doesn't exist anymore. It's our AI copywriting feature, and it kind of helps you get a fresh take on evergreen topics. You can use it to send personalized email content to your subscribers and keep engagement high. So basically, Smart Content creates the content for you so that you don't need to, kind of rack your brain and get writer's block on what to put down. We also have a feature called Smart Sending. And it automatically removes unengaged email addresses from your email sends. So you're only sending emails to your most engaged and interested subscribers. Like we mentioned earlier, this is how you can maintain a clean list and improve your deliverability. And you can always send re-engagement campaigns to those unengaged subscribers in the future. We also have a GDPR compliant form builder and landing page creator. So our tool helps you create online forms and add them to your landing pages and website. And our form builder ensures that your email sign-up forms are opt-in, so your subscribers know exactly what they're signing up for. We also have a polls and surveys. So our tool, helps you send polls and surveys to your subscribers to see what kind of content they want or how often they want to receive emails from you. Again, this just ensures they're happy with the frequency and the content, so they're less likely to unsubscribe. And we also have reporting. Our reporting feature shows you performance points like open rates, unsubscribe rates, and click rates, and more. You can tap into these insights so you can be on top of how well your emails are aligning with your audience. Okay, so I'm going to pass it over to Irene now. She's going to walk you through how Benchmark Email can help you maintain a clean list and clean and organized list for optimal delivery. She's going to show you specific features within our platform so that you can just see just how well we're equipped to help you with these new changes. So Irene, I'm going to let you take it away.
Hey, Natalie, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Irene, and I'm going to be going over just a few of the tools that we have on how to keep your list clean and how to keep it segmented, as well as how to personalize some of your emails. So at the end of this, please feel free to ask any questions, and I will do my best to answer those for you. By sharing my screen. Natalie, can you guys see my screen?
Yep, looks great, Irene.
Yes, all good.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first tool that I want to go over with you is how to keep your list clean. Now, There are a number of ways that you can do this in Benchmark, but one of the easier ways or features that we have is going to be the clean list feature. And you can find this feature in the contact list dashboard under whatever list you want to clean. So let's head over there now. I'm going to go to the list dashboard, and I'm going to go ahead and open up a contact list that I have here. In this area, we're going to go over to the clean list feature. And here we're going to have some options. So to maintain your list clean, you want to remove any contacts who have hard bounce. The soft bounces, you don't have to necessarily remove right away because there is a chance that they'll become active contacts again. But the hard bounces you want to move, and you also have the option to remove contacts who have not been engaging with your email. So for example, here we have contacts who have not opened in the last, and in this case, you can do 5 campaigns, 10, 20, or 30. I'm going to choose 5, and it's only going to give me 2 contacts because this list isn't a list that I'm using frequently. But as you can see, it is telling me that out of the 52 contacts that I have, 2 contacts have not been engaging with my list. So there's 2 things I can do. One, I can create a list of those 2 people who are not engaging and just kind of keep that list to the side and then maybe target them again later on. Or I can just remove them from the list completely. Now, if you're sure that you don't want to email them again, then you can just hit remove. Those contacts will be gone completely from your account, or you can select the create new list option. So this is one of the ways that you can do that. And then when you save this, it's going to create a new contact list for it. So if you select the create new list, it's going to create a new contact list in the account under monthly newsletter, unopens, and so on. But another way that you can do this is going to be through the contact. Sorry, it's going to be either through the email reports or through the segment option. But I'm going to show you the report option. So from the email reports, let's say that I want to go look at this email that I sent. I'm going to open this up here. You can go to your email reports, and then you're going to see everything that you have here. But if I click on my opens, and I know that these are contacts who are interested in my email, I can either save as a list, which this would give me a list of contacts who, I know are engaged, they want to receive my emails, but I can also switch this around and go to unopens, and it's going to give me a list of contacts who are not opening. And this is a second method that you can do. And this is going to be more specific to the latest email that you sent on removing contacts or created a list of them. So then here, you can select export to a file, and this is going to give you a file that you can download on your computer. And then you can, if you want to save these and then maybe exclude them later on, you can just re-import them to the system. And then that way you can have a list of contacts who didn't engage with this email. Now, this is a little bit more work that you have to do. So I do always recommend to use the clean list feature instead of the email report option, but it is another way that you can segment contacts out. And then the last way that you can do this is going to be with our targeted list feature. Now, with the targeted list feature, you're also going to be going into the contact dashboard, but instead of opening up a specific list, you're going to go to create a new list. And then here, you're going to select targeted list. And then you're going to select your general clicks and opens, or you can just do click focus. But the purpose of this one, we're trying to narrow down the engagement on the contact list. So we're going to select the first one, which is, it's going to look for everything, clicks and opens, whereas the click focus is only going to look for contacts who have clicked on links within your email. Okay, so the next step here, we're going to select the number, we're going to select the email template. So I'm going to select all 4 of these. Keep in mind, these are a little bit older, but it's going to serve our purpose. And now we're going to select the engagement criteria. So here you can either do based on engagement. So we can say, I want to know anyone who's engaged with some or all of the emails. And here it immediately switched to 0. So let's just do some or all. And then I'm going to switch from clicks to opens. And then here we're going to see that out of all of the emails that I sent, and again, your list of emails could be completely different from mine. Actually, they will be. But so this number is going to tell you that there's 14 contacts who have engaged with all of the emails that you've sent, and you can save this as a new list. Now, you can also turn this around and say, I want to see everyone who hasn't engaged with my emails. And then here it'll show you another result for the people who haven't engaged. Now, this is one way that you can find or create a list of contacts who are not opening your emails, and then you can save this so that when you go to send out an email, you know that you should not send to these contacts specifically because they're not engaging. Now, I'm going to stay on this topic and kind of move over into the next topic, which is how to create a segment of users who have clicked. As I mentioned earlier, the targeted list can help you create a list of contacts who are clicking on emails. So just the same way that we created this list here and we said, okay, I want to see it based on engagement. I can also say the engagement type to be clicks. Now, keep in mind, my emails are only for testing purposes, but if I had, let's say 100 contacts who are interested, who are clicking, I can still save this as a list and then target those customers later on, because they are engaging. Okay. Now, the next way that Benchmark can help you on how to, maintain a good, clean list is also by you creating a custom field. And those custom fields can be anything. So for example, I'm going to show you a list that I have outside of Benchmark. And in my contact list, I have information such as items purchased or interest. Now, in Benchmark, these aren't fields that we automatically give you. So you have to customize those. So to do that, you're going to go to any of the contact lists that we have here or any of your lists. You're going to open that contact list, and then you're going to go over to the edit option. And then you're going to scroll down. So after you pass the middle name, all of these fields here that you see, these are open to edit. So you can change whatever you'd like. It could be something completely different. We do have extra fields that we recommend that you change just in case you want to use these again later on. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the end. And then here we have some different fields. So for example, this extra 3 field, this is one that we give you so that if you want to add your own content. So I used the extra 4 and I changed it to item purchased. And then I used extra 5 to change it to interest. Now, when I import my contact list, it is going to detect that I have these 2 fields and it can automatically map that. So that's one way of you being able to edit the custom field. Now, on how to use that, there is a number of ways that you can use that, but let's move over to how to segment. So we created a custom field, and now what do we do with that information? So we're gonna go back into the contact list dashboard. And here over on the left-hand side, I wanna walk you through the segment area. So segments are good because they're gonna help you narrow down your contact list to people who are interested in specific topics or specific, they made specific purchases. Now, in my contact list, I have, hiking gear, running gear. And what this is going to be good for is when I send an email out, I can send out an email specifically to people who are interested in hiking information, or they want to know more about, the running gear that I have coming up. So let me show you how you can create a segment. So we're going to create a new segment here, and then we're going to select the contact list that we're working with. You can select multiple lists, so as long as those contact lists have the same field and there's data in there. If you select multiple lists and there's, they don't have the same fields, then you're not going to get a lot of information back. So just make sure that if you select multiple lists, that they have the same fields in them. So we're going to go down. We selected the monthly newsletter. And let's title this. Let's look at my contact list of what I have. I'm going to do let's do backpack and hiking. Let's see here. Give it a name. We're gonna go to save and next. Taking some time to load here. Okay, now we're gonna select the criteria. So I know that in my contact list, I have a field titled item purchase, and then I also have an interest. So let's first go with item purchase. And then I'm going to do equals backpack. And then I'm going to add a second field because now I want to target specific people who are interested in hiking, for example, and maybe they purchased a backpack. So I'm going to go to interest, add criteria, and then add in the data. And then now it's telling me that there's 11 contacts that match this. So by now it's already created a segment for me and it's ready to use when I send out an email. So now that I've showed you how to create a segment, how to create a custom field, let me show you how you can now send to this specific segment instead of sending to your entire contact list. Okay, so we're going to go over to the emails dashboard. And the whole reason why we're segmenting is because we're doing what we call consider personalization. So personalization is more than just like, the first name and the subject line. You can also personalize the type of content that you're sending to your specific contact list. So this is what we're going to show you now. So here's an email that I have that I've created specifically for running gear. And I know that I created a segment for hiking, but I also have a segment specifically for people who are interested in running or they first purchased running shoes, for example. So we're going to go here to this email. And before I move into editing my email, I do want to show you how you can personalize in the subject line. So here, if you notice, I have, hey, and then I added a merch tag. So this merch tag here is just going to say, hey, Irene, gear up for success. Check out our new running gear. This is one, it's going to give your recipients a first impression like, hey, they know my name. And this kind of creates a sense of trust, just by including a contact's first name in there. You necessarily don't have to do that, but you can. If there is no first name in that contact's information, then it's just going to say, hey. It's not going to, show the merch tag that we see here. It's just going to show, hey. So let's go over now into the email editor and show you how you can take this a step further and personalize more. So here's the email that I created earlier. And as you can see, we have here. So this was something I copied over. I'm going to go ahead and delete this so I can show you how to first. Let's add a greeting to this email. So we're going to go to more, personalize. Let's add a greeting and we're going to say, Dear Irene. So dear first name, we'll hit insert. If you want to add a comma, you certainly can. You just do your little backspace there. And so if you notice in the first line, I have ready to take some action. We've got you covered. And then there's also something here that says item purchase. So in that line, I want to say something along the lines, we've got the perfect, whatever item they purchased to fuel your passion for, whatever. So how to add this in here, it's going to pull whatever data you have in that contact list. So let me remove this and show you how I added that here. Let's get that out. We're going to go to personalize and we're going to go to contact details. So in the contact details, this email is already connected to the contact list that I created. So I'm going to do item purchased. And that's how I added that there. So when I send this email out, and let's say I received it, it's going to tell me I have the perfect running shoes to fuel my passion. So this is another way that you can personalize the data that your customers are going to receive. And of course, it doesn't have to be related to retail. It can be anything, any kind of data that you have in your contact list can be plugged into the email. So far, we've created an email specifically for people who are interested in let's say, hiking or running. And now we selected that contact list. We're only going to send to them. And we're now adding data specific to them as well. So let me hit save and close. If you click on preview, it's going to show you what this email could look like. Now, so in this case, it's pulling up a contact who has purchased a bathing suit. So I just have to go back and make sure that I'm selecting the right segment. And let me show you how to do that. But if you notice, it did pull up the correct name. And we're going to now go to the next step, which would be the email checklist before you send the email out. And you can select a contact list to send to. So right now it's selected all of my contacts, but let's say I only want again to send to a specific group. So earlier I showed you how to create a segment. And now you can see here, so all of these here are considered lists, and we also have the segments. You'll know it's a segment if it has this little lines here to the right, and I'm gonna select the running segment, and I'm going to uncheck the monthly newsletter. So what's going to happen when I send this email, it's only going to send to those 18 people. Another thing that some customers like to do is to exclude specific groups. So let's say that I wanted to send to my entire list, but I didn't want to send to, let's say, the running group, right? So in this case, when I select this, it's going to exclude those people from the email. Maybe they're not interested in the type of email content that I'm sending. So this is another way that you can personalize the type of content that you're sending. Again, not just with the email content, but as far as, a contact list that's going to receive it. Okay, so let me get out of this area and let's see here. So we showed you how to create the fields, the segment, the subject line area, and how you can personalize this. And then now the last part I do want to walk you through is going to be, that authentication information that Natalie mentioned. So with the coming requirements for Gmail and Yahoo, senders will need to be authenticated. And right now, Benchmark does have an option for customers to get the SPF and the DKIM records from within their accounts. But one feature that's also coming is going to be to give you the DMARC records that you can use, or the DMARC policy that you can use and add again to your DNS system. So from your account settings, you're going to want to go to the domain authentication. And this account that I'm in, it's actually going to give you a preview of what is to come. This is currently not available in all of the Benchmark accounts. Right now, you can only see 2 records, and that's going to be the SPF and the DKIM record, which here we go. So you can disregard this page. This is only for testing, but this will kind of give you a sense of what it's going to look like again. So right now in your account, you have access to the SPF and to the DKIM record. One that we are bringing along is going to be the DMARC record, which in order for you to be completely authenticated, you're going to need to have all 3 added to your domain system. Some customers may not need to add DMARC because they might already have this in place. But if you don't have it in place, you need to have at least a p-value. And you can, you can start doing that now. If you have questions with that, feel free to contact us. But this is going to be released to customers within the coming days. And you'll be able to come again to the account settings, go to domain authentication. And when you open this, if you have all green check marks, then great. If you have some that are red, then you're going to want to make sure that you go to your DNS, open that up, and add the correct records to your account. If you have a green check mark, you can disregard this one. You don't have to add anything. This is us by checking on the back end. Does this domain have a DMARC record? If it does, we're telling you that you're good. You don't have to do anything. But if it's a red cross or an X there, then you will have to add domain authentication for that. But that is it with domain authentication. Again, if you don't have this, you're not going to be able, you still will be able to send, but you're not going to have the best deliverability results. So we recommend that all customers, it doesn't matter how small or big your contact list is, you definitely want to get this in place before February 1st. And that is it for me, Natalie.
Okay, let me share my screen now. Okay, so we want to get to thank you so much, Irene, first and foremost. That was wonderful. We want to get to the question portion. We actually had a few questions that I already went ahead and answered, but I'm going to bring them up because they might help other people that have maybe something similar. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, someone asked, some of my best customers show up as not engaged, not because they are not interested, but because they are not receiving my emails. When I ask, some tell me they didn't receive it, while others say they found it in their spam. So not sure how to deal with these. So yeah, so that's actually a very good question. And a lot of the tips that we shared today should definitely help it so that your future emails will not go to spam. But if this is happening, make sure you ask anyone who's received your email and wants to continue receiving your email, but they say they found it in their spam folder, to make sure they move those from their spam folder. So, and not marking those as spam, because that will ensure that in the future, that will stop continuing to happen. And also, obviously, sharing or implementing all the tactics we've shared today will help you kind of improve over time and make sure that those emails aren't continuing to go to spam. I'm not actually sure about this question. It's Florence asks, what if we are sending communication to our internal employees? Is domain authentication required? And I believe, yes, I think that domain authentication is, obviously it kind of depends on the service provider you're using, but if it's Gmail or Yahoo, I would say yes, it is going to matter. So you're going to want to make sure that, and I think that this is going to just kind of be a trend moving forward, that it's just going to be good practice to make sure that you have domain authentication. So I would say yes. But that pretty much is it for all the questions we had today. I want to thank everyone for joining us. And I also want to make sure everyone knows we're going to be sending out, again, the recording, the slides, and I'm going to also, send some resources for you guys, including our sign up for free options. So if you liked what Irene had to say, you want to make this easy for yourself, make sure you sign up for Benchmark Email. You can do so for free, and we can help, ensure that your deliverability stays high by the features that we've mentioned. And, our platform does really take the guesswork out of it. So thanks again to everyone for joining us. Thank you, Irene. And be on the lookout for an email either today or tomorrow with all the resources from this webinar. So thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye.